𝐁𝐮𝐫𝐬𝐢.com.
All right, here we go. Welcome in on a Wednesday here in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studios. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team here in Mississippi. Your home team is Farm Bureau Insurance, your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. That's your hometown heroes, especially when fender benders and bad things happen. You hope it never does. It probably will at some point. But we're talking about happy things here today on this Wednesday, like baseball and projections for the postseason. I got to looking at it a little bit last night after I got back home, and, I was honestly thinking about Rooster's phone call on the show yesterday. Had a conversation with someone today about it. I don't think they've ever awarded 3 regional host sites here in the state of Mississippi in the same year. I know we've had 2 before, but we've never had, I don't think, all 3. But you have to wonder if there's that opportunity this year. But I think there's another realistic scenario where, you really could. You really could look at it and go, there may be an obscure scenario that could play out this weekend where Ole Miss actually slips up and steals State's hosting spot. Yeah, and I know you still have the conference tournament, and that probably plays into it also. But we can talk about all that and more. How do you feel about it? If you're a baseball fan, particularly a state baseball fan, how do you feel about it here today on this Wednesday, going into this series that begins tomorrow over at A&M? A&M's in. Probably national seed territory for A&M. They're definitely going to host. You got word they're not going to pitch one of their ace pitchers in this series against State. Maybe that helps. Anyway, scenarios on that, I'll kind of tell you what I think after doing a little talking about it today on the phone. Look at these projections, but I'd like to know what you think about the situation State finds itself in. You think they're going to host? You think it'll be Hattiesburg and Starkville? Is there no chance whatsoever that the committee would give Hattiesburg, Starkville, and Oxford, all 3 of them, host sites? Is there no chance that would happen? I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of a chance. It's just never happened before. The numbers could support it. It's just whether or not they want to do it. That's on the table and more with you here today. You can be a part of the show. You can call me on the Junction phone, the number to call. The Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. The number to call is 897-1059. That's a 601 number, 897-1059. You can also text me on the Country Pleasin' text line. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best. Text the show, 885-3776. Got it? 601 number, 885-3776. First text of the day is a softball text. Not figuratively, literally. More Bully is asking on the Country Pleasin' text line for a round of applause for Belhaven softball because they are hosting for the first time ever in a postseason. There you go. Coach Griffin. Boy, he and the Griffins are putting some miles in, aren't they? Back and forth from Pittsburgh and other major league parks watching Connor play. They won last night. The Pirates won last night hosting the Rockies up there, and they won because Skeens had a no-hitter going for a while. He was outstanding. Connor scored a run. He didn't have a hit in the game, but he did score a run. Yeah, they put it. But thanks, More Bully, for the heads up. I didn't know that. Tip of the cap. Way to go, Belhaven softball. Going to host in the postseason. Now, here's what I'm talking about, okay? Here's what I'm talking about on this. Not just one scenario, but it's really like potential scenarios for postseason baseball and locations and all this. And credit where it's due. It was Rooster's call on yesterday's show that sort of sparked me thinking about this as I drove home last night and then looked at it today. If you look at the projections over at D1 Baseball, D1Baseball.com. If you look at their projections for the 16 regionals in the postseason, this is as of yesterday. They updated it as of yesterday. Now, I'm assuming, again, I don't think it matters, but I am assuming that they updated this yesterday before Auburn went and lost to Jacksonville State last night in midweek baseball. That's the second time I've lost to them. I still don't think it affects this. So here's what they have. They have State as the 12 seed hosting a regional with, obviously 3 other teams, but those 3 others in this projection were Oklahoma State, NC State, and Southeastern Louisiana, SELA. They also have, as of yesterday, of course, Southern Miss hosting in Hattiesburg. Now, they have them as the 9 seed. I guess that's kind of based on just straight up RPI, looking at it that way, because I think if you look at it, State's 12 in the RPI, they have them as a 12 seed. Southern Miss is 9 in the RPI, they have them as a 9 seed. So 1 spot out of the top 8. But they have Southern Miss hosting in Hattiesburg with Oklahoma, East Carolina, and Indiana State coming in there. They don't have, as of yesterday in their projections, they don't have Ole Miss hosting. They have Ole Miss going as the 2 seed all the way to Corvallis, Oregon. Oregon State with Ole Miss in there as a 2, Arizona State, and then Niagara. And, some SEC teams have had to go there in recent years. And LSU went there, relatively recently, all the way to Corvallis, Oregon. But they have Ole Miss doing that this year. When you look at the scenario, though, there is a scenario with Ole Miss having 3 games this weekend on the road at a top 4 RPI team in Alabama, who, by the way, they do have Alabama hosting as the 7. They have Auburn hosting as the number 4 overall seed. They have Georgia hosting overall number 3 seed. Georgia Tech, the 2, UCLA, the 1 seed. But with Ole Miss having 3 games at Alabama this weekend, and they're sitting there as 13 in the RPI right now, 1 spot behind State, who's at 12, according to Warren Nolan, then these 3 games for State and Ole Miss that all start tomorrow night, it could actually, if you go extreme, it could swing it. It absolutely could. Look at it this way. If State goes out there and gets swept and Ole Miss goes to Alabama this weekend and wins the series, there's going to be an interesting conversation going on. I think the pressure is on State more so than, the opportunity in front of them. Ole Miss, I think, is probably in a scenario where they're going to need State to have a bad weekend this weekend. I was talking today with somebody, and they felt like, with where everything is, if State can just win 1 game, if you can go to A&M and not get swept, you're probably locked in as a host. But it's really close. I don't know how closely you've looked at it, but it's really close. Nick, thanks for the text. Hope you're doing well on this Wednesday. Nick, you said on the Country Pleasing text line, A&M just announced that their ace is out. And also they're going with TBA on Friday and Saturday. It says State has no excuse not to take this series. Well, no excuse. That's true. Baseball's a weird thing. Certainly no excuse not to be locked in and motivated with plenty of opportunity on the plate this weekend for State. I think that's one way to put it. All right. Somebody text me. I didn't know this, but it simply says, what about those West Union softball girls beating Sebastopol and Bugs last night? I don't know anything about that, but I'm happy for them, and I tip my cap. West Union won. Craig on YouTube. What's up, Craig? Thanks for being here on the show. That's another way to be a part of it. If you're on the live stream, YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, all you have to do is type in a comment and click it and post it, and then it pops up in this column right here on this fancy computer in front of me, and I can see your comments, and then I click it, it pops up on the screen. Craig, you said MSU went 25-8 at home in baseball. If the Bulldogs take 2 or 3 from A&M, I believe 40 wins would lock up a home regional along with a high RPI for state. You know, can they get to 40 wins? They can't get to 40 wins in the regular season, can they? I got to go back and look at the record. I'll do that next and see if that's possible. And then, you know, and I guess it's true that things that do happen in the SEC tournament can factor into the postseason. They generally don't, but sometimes they can. All right, just getting started on this Wednesday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Tried and true Magnolia blend.
Zone1059.com.
Back with you. Wednesday in the Bureau. Your texts, your comments, your calls, get them in here. Like I said, if you're on the live stream, you can be a part of the show. Just type in a comment. I can see it here, pop it up on the screen. Hey, Will. Welcome in on this Wednesday into the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Will, you said any word on McPherson. I think he's where he was last week, which is can throw, can go. After a long break, just got to work it back into shape. Obviously, able to get out there, able to earn enough trust to get out there, but low pitch count, got hit. Got to work the confidence back in. So, I think he's right where he was last week. Can throw, might throw. We'll see if he does, Paul, what's up on Facebook? If you're on the Facebook live stream, type in a comment. I can see it. We'll bring it up on the screen. Paul, you said, hey, Matt, tuning in from the new town of Star, Mississippi. Love your show, brother. You too, Paul. Thanks. I know where Star is. Been through there. I was driving around back there on Star Road not too long ago. Know right where it is. And that, what's her name? Faith Hill? What's that song? It's a long way from Star, Mississippi. To the big stage I'm singing on tonight. Right, not too far, not too very far from the home of country pleasing sausage, Country Meat Packers on Highway 49 in Florence. Yep, not too far from there. What am I looking at? Okay. Is that those termites? You said the bugs. Is that what we're talking about? These big, is that what? I think I saw something about these giant swarms of termites. But I was thinking it was like up in the Carolinas. Are you saying we have that here in Mississippi? Was that a different kind of bug swarm? Sure enough, though, they were covered up in them, according to that video. When you said in the bugs last night, I didn't put two and two together until you sent me the video. Thanks. Man, that's rough looking. Is it those termite things? Whew. Grumpy, what's up with you on a Wednesday? Thanks for your text. You said, Matt, Grumpy's in the creek today. What are you doing in the creek, Grumpy? You still digging it out? What are you doing? You're finding arrowheads in that creek, Grumpy? You also said, but if MSU's stars show up this weekend and Bryce Chance crosses home plate 7 or 8 times, then the Dogs will win the series. Signed, Hail State. You know what I failed to do? Here it is Wednesday. I failed to do it when we came in at the beginning of the week. But let's go back and look at the stats, because at the end of last week I was tracking it, seeing where Bryce was in the batting title chase. I mean, he had a chance. And again, I know that there's a pun in there somewhere, but man, you talking about stretching out your lead. I don't know what the numbers were, but Daniel Jackson, who at this time last week was leading the SEC in batting average, batting .372. And Bryce caught him or moved up within a point after that first game against Auburn. Again, I don't know what the numbers were, but Daniel Jackson had a heck of a weekend against LSU pitching, because he went into the weekend batting .372. He came out of the weekend batting .384. And Trey Phelps even moved up too. He's been in right behind him. He's at .374. So Jackson's number one right now at .384, 1 series left. Phelps number 2 at .374, and then Bryce Chance third in the league right now, batting .371 after the weekend against Auburn. And that same Auburn pitching that Bryce Chance faced all this past weekend are who those Georgia kids are going to be up against this coming week. So that's where that is. So it's probably, I mean, Bryce, he can do it. He just needs to have a heck of a final weekend at the plate if we're looking at regular season batting champ, because they wouldn't include the SEC tournament. So he's going to need to have a heck of a weekend at the plate in 3 games and hope that Auburn pitching mows those Georgia guys down in 3 games. If that happens, maybe Bryce can still do it. It's still possible. Got some ground to make up, though, but it is still possible. My man on Facebook, Roger and the boys says, speaking of country pleasing brand, today they are at Tupelo Walmart on North Gloucester. You can sample all flavors there until 4 p.m. So y'all go see him. North Gloucester being up there by the mall, which is, yesterday they were at Sam's slinging samples, and today they're about 150 to 200 yards north of there at the Walmart, sampling all flavors. And I will say, too, that we have the 2 Walmarts in Tupelo both carry a bunch of the flavors. So y'all go check them out. We'll put it on social media as well. But if you're listening to this on Facebook or on YouTube or in your car and you're going to be in the Tupelo area, they'll have those samples going country pleasing at Walmart until 4 p.m. today. Y'all go see them. Paul with a suggestion as well. You have to try the redfish and grits from Country Pleasing. Wait just a minute. Hold on a minute. Time out. Hold the phone. Are you saying, Paul, that I can go to Country Meat Packers, like into the deli, and I can leave with a lunch of redfish and grits? I didn't know we had that. I didn't know we had that option. But, Paul, I am sure thankful for the heads up. That is, I mean, really, where else you going to get that, huh? Wait just a minute. Now, another wait just a minute. Hold the phone. Back over to the Country Pleasing text line. Grumpy, you said you're in the creek today. I said, are you still digging it out? Do you ever find arrowheads? And Grumpy, you said no arrowheads, but you had a neighbor who found a 1,000-year-old canoe. What? Oh, I have a ton of questions, Grumpy. Number one, when? How long ago did that happen? Did your neighbor find a 1,000-year-old canoe? Number two, found it as in down under the water? Preserved down in the mud? Had to be, right? Had to be that. Number three, sold it to who? Where is it? That's incredible. Number four, another question. Was there any media coverage where somebody took pictures, wrote an article, information? I want all of that. We're talking Mississippi, aren't we? I need all that info that I can get my hands on. I mean, and yeah, I kind of would like to know how much he sold it for. But that, I am really fascinated by that now. It's kind of like, hey, Grumpy, I don't know if I ought to be telling this, but maybe the statute of limitations has run out. Years ago, if I could think about how many years ago, I mean, it's been at least 10 years ago, probably more than 10 years ago. I picked up the hobby of relic hunting and metal detecting for Civil War artifacts and stuff like that. You know, like artillery shells and buttons and bullets and coins and all that kind of stuff. The places where there were campsites for Union, you know, all that stuff. Anyway, did all that. Had a great time. Really got into it for about 2 years and then, you know, got off of it. Moved, you know, whatever. But during that time, I talked to a guy in New Albany, Mississippi, where I get my coffee, High Point Roasters, who said, hey, look, don't tell them I told you. But he named it. There's so-and-so spot over there, so-and-so creek, where you may find stuff. He said, and no joke, he said, I got some friends that 10 years ago, that was 10 years ago then, he said they found some lost cannon in there, dug it up, preserved it, everything, and low-key didn't tell anybody. Like he said, I can take you and show it to you, but they don't really advertise it much because they don't want somebody coming to get it. Yeah, a lost cannon down in the creek, dug that sucker up. Well, I don't know. I guess it's true. That's really cool. Just getting started on a Wednesday in the Bureau. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, Convenience Redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960s, pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go.
I'm starving. Don't worry, he's got a menu full on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Confirmed. It's been confirmed on Facebook. Paul is the one that told me about it on Facebook that at Country Meat Packers on Highway 49 in Florence, you can go in there and get redfish and grits. And then Roger chimed in to let me know that Miss Penny does a blackened redfish on a creamy Cajun garlic sauce over cheese grits. Yeah. Bring that on right this minute. Is it year round? Hey, Roger, who's catching those redfish? Henry going down there and catching redfish? Man, that is fantastic. I'd love to get my hands on it. So just a heads up, y'all. Just a heads up. A little bit of everything, and it's all good. If you go there for lunch or really anytime. But a blackened redfish, creamy Cajun garlic sauce, cheese grits, prepared by Miss Penny at Country Meat Packers on Highway 49 in Florence. Yes, sir. Here we go, headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. That's mortgagemanms.com. Anything mortgage related in the state of Mississippi, that's where you want to go. Buying, refinancing, start right there. Trust me. mortgagemanms.com. Mentioned it to you. Connor Griffin and the Pirates won last night. Beat Colorado 3-1. Pirates 23-19. They got their 12th win at home. Now, Connor scored a run. He didn't get a hit in the ball game, but he did score a run, and they needed it. It was a low-scoring 3-1 deal. Paul Skeens was the story. Goes 8 innings, 10 strikeouts, no walks, no runs on just 2 hits. Took a no-hitter deep into the ball game. But speaking of the Pirates, word came out yesterday that Jake Mangum may be making his way back quicker into the Pirates rotation, well, in the outfield rotation, quicker than they initially thought. Last week, they put him on the 10-day because of that sore hamstring. The manager spoke about it over the last couple of days on a Pirates Insider podcast and show, and says that he's confident Jake won't be out for a long time and that they are optimistic, this is his words here, that Jake is going to be back on the shorter end of things. He's an important part of this team. He's kind of finds himself almost into every game somehow, and when he's not active on our team, it shows. So instead of the full 10-day, maybe they get him back quicker. Keeping an eye on it every day. On to the NFL. The NFL unveiled the matchups, which teams are going to play in this 9-game international schedule. 9 different NFL games are going to take place overseas in other countries and around the world this coming NFL season, okay? The NFL went ahead and announced who those are. If you're a diehard, you might have already heard it. If you're not, maybe you didn't. But 9 games, they're going to Melbourne, Australia, Rio de Janeiro, 3 games in London, 1 in Paris, 1 in Madrid, 1 in Munich, 1 in Mexico City. The 49ers are a big part of it. In week 1, the 49ers are playing the Rams in Australia. Later in the year, week 11, the 49ers play the Vikings in Mexico City. The Saints are in there somewhere. Let's see, week 7, Steelers and Saints in Paris. Yep. Jaguars also are playing multiple games. Week 5, Eagles, Jaguars in London. Week 6, Texans, Jaguars in London. We have a little 2-week stretch in there. Late in the year, you get Bengals, Falcons in Madrid. You'll get Patriots, Lions in Munich. Also, the Ravens, Cowboys in week 3 is going to be played in Rio de Janeiro. So I don't know about you, but the international games don't interest me one bit. I do not care one iota. You know, it's almost like when I say I don't care, I mean, okay, fine, play. It's not that I'm against it. No, it's that I simply don't care where you play it. Big deal. I could wake up tomorrow and they canceled them all. Every last one. They're not going to play a single game outside of the United States. I'd be like, all right, I don't care. Just play the games. But I don't myself understand the draw of playing these NFL games in different countries, but hey, more power to them. They know what they're doing. Speaking of the NFL, not surprisingly, we talked about this some last year because there was debate about it. Just real quick, I'll tell you. The NFL Players Association did surveys, put numbers to it, talked to all their players here during the offseason, and in a large way, players prefer natural grass over artificial turf. So you look at the number of teams and the number of players. They polled 1,700 players, just a hair under 2,000 players. It's just about all of them. 92% of players say they want to play on natural grass over the artificial stuff. I think the only surprise in that for me is that they found 8% that said they wanted artificial. That's surprising to me, but 92 overwhelmingly. Most likely it means it's, some teams that have the turf that they'll figure out ways to put grass in there, except for these indoor deals. Those are your headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Mortgagemanms.com. Nick, thanks for your text on the Country Pleasing text line. You said Skiing's ERA since he came into the majors. And look at that. His first year, 1.96, then 1.97, and right now, 1.98 this year. And it's basically the same. You said there are only 3 players with a career ERA under 2, and they all played in the 1800s. We are witnessing greatness. Yeah, we really are, especially if he keeps that up, right? I mean, that's the deal, if you keep it up. The thing is, I say we. I'm in the group of baseball fans who have not appreciated enough over the last 3 years being able to watch both Paul Skeens pitch and watch Shohei Ohtani play, whether he's pitching or not. And he's been hurt some. But those two together, combined, playing at the same time, we've not seen anything like that really in our lifetime, have we? And your stat there and your numbers sort of back that up. Back over to Facebook, Paul, you said, hey, Matt, do you think Southern Miss could host a regional? You said, I want to say their stadium seats 8,000 to 9,000. Also, what is the scenario that State could host a super regional? Hail State. Okay, Paul, yes. I believe Southern Miss is a lock to host. I don't even know who they play this weekend, the final weekend of the regular season. I don't even know. I don't think it matters. I think they are a lock to host in the postseason. Right now, D1 Baseball has them as the number 9 overall seed. So just outside of the top 8. And so where they are, they're just not a team that's going to do anything to themselves to move themselves out of hosting, but with what's left. One regular season weekend and then whatever happens in their conference tournament, which I think the Sun Belt, I think they play their conference tournament in Montgomery, right? At the minor league park there in Montgomery. I think that's right. So Southern Miss is hosting. Yes, period. But I was talking about this at the beginning of the hour, Paul. For State, I don't think state can track down a national seed. I mean, if they were to go to A&M and sweep it this weekend, win all three, I guess it's possible in relation to what some of the other teams might do in front of them. Maybe it's possible to have a really high enough RPI to make the committee think about that, but I doubt it. I think where state is if they get swept at A&M this weekend, it can move them onto the bubble of even hosting at all. But if they win just one game this weekend at A&M, they're probably safely hosting a regional. Well, then it's just a matter of winning your regional and hoping somebody on the other side of the bracket opposite you, whoever that is, you need a 2 or a 3 or somebody to win that one so you can host the Super. But I think that's kind of the scenario you're in right there. All right. More coming up. Back after this.
Not all advanced technology companies are created equal.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to
You worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. Rolling along. Paul, you texted the country pleasing text line. Country pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. Paul, you said Cardinals pitcher Bob Gibson had an ERA under 2 in 1968. You said it was like 1.12 or something like that. Well, that's just ridiculous. Amazingly, his record that year was 21-9. How you go? How you lose 9 games with a 1.12? But yeah. So I guess to what Nick said, it would be career, because Nick sent me the Paul Skeens ERA numbers. Of course, we're just getting started here at 26. But is it fair to say that? I mean, it's May, halfway point will be July, so we're still getting started here, 26. But he's at 1.98. And think of what his ERA would be this year if he didn't have that first inning of the season against the Mets. It's the only time the Mets have hit the ball all year long, really. But anyway, so his ERA is for rookie year 1.96. His ERA last year 1.97. And right now it's sitting there at 1.98. The average of 1.97 for his career. And what Nick was saying, only 3 other players with a career ERA under 2, they all played in the 1800s. And so if Skeens could keep that up over the course of his career, it's certainly historic, not to mention just unfathomable. What do we got here? Possum Neck Joe, who is on the all-name team. He's got one of these what-if questions. He's got me a what-if question here, and I'm gonna prepare to address it by pouring some hot coffee in my mug from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Go to highpointroasters.com and get yours. This is Campfire Blend. It's one of my favorites that they make. They've come up with it there. It's really good stuff. highpointroasters.com. Order it. Big 1-pound bags. Shows up at your house. It's really fine stuff. All right, Possum Neck Joe, you said, Matt, you woke up this morning. You said the magic word, Shazam! Suddenly you're 18 years old and being recruited. Would you accept an offer to play for Lane Kiffin? Well, I mean, no, not knowing what I know. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't play for him. Now, let me ask you this, though, Joe. I need more in this hypothetical scenario. What all do I know? Okay, you're saying I wave a magic wand. It's like a Hollywood movie. Oh, you know what, Joe? This would actually be a really good plot for a John Hughes-esque type of movie that only a talent like a John Hughes could have given us. But if he was around, he could have given us something to be actually this kind of thing. Something happens. You think about the movie Big or whatever, but something happens and all of a sudden you're 18 and you're a high school football recruit. Okay, you're saying I wake up, I'm 18 years old now, and I'm being recruited, and knowing what I know, would I play for him? No, I would not. I just wouldn't do it. Now, I know it's a hypothetical. And you go, well, he gets you to the NFL. Yeah, maybe not. I guess he's had some that did and some that didn't. Nah. And then too, Joe, you go, okay, well, that's your only option. Okay, if you said in this hypothetical magic wand, boom, you're 18 years old abracadabra, you're 18 years old, you're being recruited. Would you play for Lane Kiffin? The deal is that the only option? Maybe that changes your answer because you just want to go play then if you're only. But if you got options, no, I'd be finding some other dude to play for. That's just me. Jake from Yazoo. I agree with you. Jake says, Paul just dropped a bomb now with this redfish at Country Meat Packers on Highway 49 in Florence, where Country Pleasing sausage comes from. Wonder if they sell it fresh. You know, you mean like, just like almost like fillets? Like just the redfish, just the fish? Not in the dish of blackened redfish and cheese grits? Whew, doesn't that sound great? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. If I can find out, Jake, I will let you know, though. Hey, back to you, Joe, to your question. What about you? I probably ought to pose the question. You posed it to me, I'll pose it to everybody else. You wake up, it's like you're in a movie, okay? And all of a sudden, something happens, and you're in your 18-year-old self. You're being recruited as a football player. What about you? Would you play for Lane Kiffin? Yeah, no, I don't think I would. I think knowing what I know, the impression he's made on me is I wouldn't play for him. And there's plenty of other options to play ball for different folks. Unnamed texter. You wouldn't play for Lane? No, that's just me. Nothing wrong with people who would. Not a thing wrong with it. Do you? Okay, Jake, I'll see if I can find out. I'll ask Paul and Roger and see if they do sell that. I don't know on the redfish, but if they do, I'll let you know. See, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. CWR texts the show. You said in this hypothetical, if I'm good enough to play for Lane Kiffin, I would have other options. Well, that's the point, and so therefore, because for me, I mean, you asked me, Joe asked me. No, I mean, it's a scenario where you're magically 18 again and being recruited. It's now. You got everything in front of you here in 2026. Would you? Well, the answer is no. Because in that scenario, if you're recruited by him, you're good enough to have lots of options. And then lots of options that are offering you money and all that kind of stuff. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, unnamed texture goes, what about for $500,000 or for $1 million? But see, that's the thing. The others that you're being recruited by is going to offer you money too. So no, I mean, and I'm not a money person, and I've never liked it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to think about it. It's not ever been something that is a motivator. So I would say no to that. You got other options. I'd choose another option. Joe says, well, in today's world, Matt, I guess it would depend on how big of a bag they showed up with. Well, and okay, here's the other level that I'm not talking about, but in reality, Joe, a player now, an 18-year-old player now in 2026 who is recruited at that kind of level has an agent. You see, and so the thing that I don't know, I know what it's like for an NFL type of player. You know, you're a pro, and what that contract with your agent as an NFL type player, because I've talked to those guys and studied it a little bit over there. You just caught it like y'all have over there, and you know those kinds of relationships. You know, agents can't force a player to do something, but the understanding is, you know, the agent's working out the best deal for you, and you're not going to be picky based on a little of this or a little of that and hinder what your agent's doing. And so sometimes the agent works something out, and you as a player go, well, I feel sort of obligated to go along with that. Okay, fine. We'll go there. You worked out the deal. You know what I mean? So the agent plays a role. Maybe it's that way in the college stuff now. I don't think it's quite to that level, but agents are going to have a factor. I mean, they definitely are. It's just kind of what is that relationship? And I tell you, that's another thing. Somewhere down the line, there will be more stories written and stuff, information about the underhanded, unattractive, seedy nature of some of the college player agents that are out there running around in that world right now, really ripping off recruits and portal players and their families and taking advantage of them. That's going on a lot too. All right, hour 2 coming up in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Back after this. Stick around.
This is Jake Mangum, former Mississippi State.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas.
And for the guy who always gets you to the ball game on time. And here's the pitch. It's Matt Wyatt with all the good stuff you need to know. Right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you, hour number 2 in the Bureau, staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. Matt Beaver's here. You are here. You know, for this to happen, for us to have a show, Beaver has to be here. He's more obligated. For this to happen, he's more obligated to be here than I am. That's the truth. He's way more important than me. And dare I say that maybe the most important is that you're here listening, because if you're not, like, what's the point? Thanks for being here and being a part of the show today on this Wednesday. More of your texts coming up. If you're just tuning in, you can call me. Phone lines are open to you. On the Junction phone, Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling central Mississippi since 1960. So it's like you pull up to the pump, fuel in your tank, right? And then you go inside and get a little fuel in your belly from the Junction Deli. Number to call is 897-1059. 601 number, 897-1059. If you go to the Junction Deli, you can get a country-pleasing sausage dog. Speaking up, the country-pleasing text line. Text the show. The number is 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. Earlier, Possum Neck Joe texted in with an interesting question. He said, you know, you woke up, said the magic word, and poof, you're your 18-year-old self again being recruited. Would you play for Lane Kiffin? It was an interesting question. I said I wouldn't, and others said they would. It might depend on some other things. How do you feel about it? Anyway, text and let me know. You can also be a part of the show on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. If you're on any of those streaming social media platforms, just type in a comment, post it. It pops up on the screen, and then when I click it, it pops up on the screen. Everybody can see it. Like Paul, who said, tell Beaver that Paul Beaver says hello. The man's name is Paul Beaver. This is Beaver to Beaver communication. Got it, Paul. Thanks for being a part of the show today. Now, earlier you said, switching gears, what have you heard about Camario Taylor's progress? Well, I've heard really good things as far as learning the system. Yeah, I mean, he was already there last year. He learned it really quickly. He's sharp as a tack now. You said, I think he has a great receiving core, a decent offensive line to work with. We'll see on the offensive line. Work in progress. They got a long way to go. I think adding Mason Miller back into the fold, really experienced O-line coach and evaluator, he'll help. And then you said your grandfather went to state when it was A&M, Mississippi A&M. Your father played for state in the late 50s, was a center and a linebacker, and you went to state 88 to 92. So you were there in the changeover from Coach Felker to Coach Sherrill. That's pretty cool. He said, you could say that my blood bleeds maroon and white. Thanks for responding to my questions, Matt. Really appreciate it. Well, always, Paul. And thanks for the story. It's neat to hear the lineage there all the way back to your granddad who went when it was A&M and all that. You were around for the Coach Sherrill Texas game, you know, castration experimentation with the bull and everything in front of the team, right? You were around when that happened. That was a good time to be in school, I guess. I wasn't there, but I'm assuming it was a good time to be in school then. Regarding Possum Neck Joe's question about if you woke up and you were magically 18 again and being recruited to play football, would you play for Lane Kiffin? Lots of different responses. Unnamed texter here says, you say only way would be the money, and that's what's the problem now. No one person no one person thinks Lane Kiffin would be a good mentor of men. If he had so much, what does it say about our state? Why did he rent a Lamborghini for recruiting visits? And that's why you are great and played for one of the greatest, Jackie. He was truly genuine and loyal. Yeah, there's not a lot of loyalty, and there's always been cases where there, people who weren't loyal, you dealt with that, but, there used to be more loyalty sort of baked into everything about it. And frankly, the structure and the NCAA sort of mandates about how all that worked factored into that too. You right when you sign somewhere and you don't want to have to sit out a year, well, you're stuck there. So I'm sure there were some who you might as well be loyal, or maybe at first they weren't, later they were. But there was more of a loyalty factor, and loyalty, certainly to individuals, to your teammates. That includes players and coaches. To the individuals that you're involved in this operation with, you look them in the eye, you get to know them, and loyalty to them and then to each other is very important. It's a very good thing. It's never, no matter what anybody says and frames loyalty as, just know that anybody that frames it as an old, washed up idea that doesn't apply anymore, that's wrong. The idea of having a sense of loyalty to your teammates and your coworkers and your organization and to the people who've given you opportunities, that is a good thing, and it always will be. And an absence of it is not necessarily a good thing. That's a fact. Just because society and the game has changed doesn't change that fact. CWR, regarding that question of would you or wouldn't you, you said you wouldn't either. You said, I would have approached my own recruitment from back in the day so much differently if I could go back. So you were recruited and remembered it. I don't know that I would have approached it that much differently. Honestly, I don't think I am. I would. It's like, it's weird to say that, I guess. It's been so long ago. I'll admit. I don't want to be somebody who doesn't either have the ability or isn't willing to recognize that it was a long time ago. Like another life ago, it seems like. But my thinking on it and about how I approached it then versus how I would approach it now has not changed. That's the weird thing about it. It hasn't changed. I don't have some switch in there in my head that I could flip that switch and go, okay, well, now my priorities would change because society has changed. Well, I don't know that I would approach it much differently than I did back then, to be honest with you. Okay, I'm going to get into this. So, yeah, earlier, unnamed texter kind of challenged me on that and said, you wouldn't play for Lane. I said, no, if it's just me. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people who would if you're being recruited right now. But I'm saying in that hypothetical, if you are, then you're obviously good enough to be recruited by others. I wouldn't do it based on what I know and have seen and everything recently. I just wouldn't. And then you responded and said, you wouldn't play for a top 5 coach? Well, okay, top 5 in what? And according to who? You said, given his acumen and ability to navigate the new age of college football, what do I care about that? For me, why am I supposed to care about that? You said you'd have been pretty good QB under Lane, not that you weren't a good one. Well, maybe so, but that, again, it's a hypothetical we're looking at. Sure, offenses are good and have been good under him. But I'm just saying that I have the right in this hypothetical scenario to say that I'm also prioritizing other things other than A, just money that's offered in recruiting, and B, just the opportunity to have some success. Because if you think that he's the only one or that's the only place that could offer you those things, well, that's just not true. And then my unnamed texter friend, you said if your agenda is to win a ring in today's college football, he's a good bet to ride with. Based on what? If your agenda is to win a ring, go play for Indiana. Go play for Kirby Smart. Right? Go to Michigan. Go to Ohio State. I mean, you say if your agenda is to win a ring, Lane is a good one to ride with. Based on what? What rings? I mean, maybe he may win it next year, but that's going to be the first one. I mean, that's the reality of that. Why are we making up things about it? Let's just look at the reality. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. That's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. that ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia blend.
And get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Paul, you said you were around back then, what, 91-ish? 91, 92? Coach Cheryl, they getting ready to play Texas, and they do the whole castration thing. You said, yeah, you were there, and it was wild. Wild, a pretty good word for it. Fun, too. Well, unless you were the Longhorn. I mean, but other than that, it was fun. Yeah, I saw that, Gene on Facebook. Ace Reese and Tomas Valinkas are finalists for the Boo Ferris Award, the Ferris Trophy given out to the best college baseball player in Mississippi every year. Yeah, I saw that. And who? I need to look up and see who the others are. I would assume it'd be Becerra and who's a big guy, home run hitter for Ole Miss? He can hit it 8 miles. Oh, Becerra's not one of them. So it's 𝐷𝐷𝐬𝐬𝐢, who I was talking about, and Townsend, the pitcher, who are the finalists. Okay. Ace Reese, Tomas Valinkas from State, from Ole Miss, Cade Townsend, and Judd 𝐷𝐷𝐬𝐢, and Southern Miss pitcher Graydon Harris. J.B. Middleton won it last year from Southern Miss. Okay, got it. Thanks for the heads up on that, Gene. Old Tackle on YouTube, you said I'd rather play for Coach O than Lane. Look, for all the stuff, I mean, there is a reason. Anybody that ever met Coach O, away from a camera, not in an interview scenario, like you just met him, like just on man-to-man terms, feet on the ground, handshake, talk a little bit. I always felt like it was easy to understand why Coach O, always recruited well everywhere he was, and why some guys, would just go, hey, man, I like this guy. This is a football guy. I had that experience. He was the head coach at Ole Miss. I don't even remember the years. Y'all do. And it was one of those things where there was something going on, and we went over there to cover it for media. I might have been at the local TV station at that time back then or something. And I do remember it was at the indoor thing. We were there early. I was there super early because we'd been in town for something else. So I was just kind of hanging out, waiting for it to start. And one of the guys who was on the staff who I previously knew said, have you met Coach O? I was like, nah, I hadn't, other than just in the interview room stuff. He goes, well, come on. And then he kind of pointed him out. So I was like, I'll go shake his hand. And I went over, introduced myself, and just shaking his hand, talking to him, little conversation. I came away from it going, okay, like I understand. Number one, why some kids come along and go, hey, I believe I might like to play for that guy. Really? Like he had that effect on me. He had me fired up. I was ready to play. Just in talking, Two, I could see how and why he was able to get jobs. You could see how in a interview scenario or a conversation scenario, how people would really say, you know what, this guy, he's got that personality now. We need this guy to be our coach. You could see it meeting him. And of course, that was not, that was short of the, hey, I'm going to pull my shirt off. I'm the coach. I'm pulling my shirt off. Now let's wrestle. Maybe it changes if you're in on that. I don't know. But hey, he ain't the first defensive coach or defensive line coach that is ready to rumble. Normal Coach O ever be the last. I respect it. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with that. Craig, you said on YouTube, if I were 18 again and was being recruited by Lane Kiffin to play at LSU, I would not play for him since he basically took a shot at the state of Mississippi with his comments. How about that? You'd say that you're saying that his comments about Mississippi would backfire and you wouldn't play for him for that reason. Paul, thanks on Facebook. It was September of 92. Coach Sherrill had the bull castrated on the practice field to demonstrate what a steer was. It was done for, quote, educational and motivational purposes. And then you beat them 28-10. I mean, put that, you talk about it's having its place in the history books for real. And then you said it drew some complaints from the Animal Rescue League. Really? As if that's not going on all the time, every day, right? All right, over to the country pleasing text line. Unnamed texter says, it would depend on the position as well as, you know, he says, because Kiffin is a quarterback whisperer and an offensive genius, so you would be developed if you're playing, he's saying if you're playing quarterback, in making your decision. And then you followed it up and said, we have bosses we don't necessarily agree with, their personality, behavior, etc. If you stay strong in your faith and character, then you can overcome anything and anyone. Hey, if that is compromised, then you always have the transfer portal. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it's true. That's life. That's life. You're not always going to work under or, you know, be under in some situation people that you have disagreements with, different beliefs than. That's true. And I guess, yeah, the theory is behind the transfer portal is that it's one of those things where, look, you shouldn't be forced to sit there, and if you've decided this is not for me and you want to leave, that's one of the ideas. But, you know, some parameters around it would be great, wouldn't it? I mean, I think everybody thinks it would be great. J-Rock, good to hear from you. You texted and said, happy Wednesday. Matt, hypothetically, what if only 2 coaches offered you? Now, this is a heck of a... This right here now is a heck of a hypothetical. It's a heck of a hypothetical. Matt, hypothetically, what if only 2 coaches offered you a scholarship? Hugh Freeze and Lane Kiffin. Would you say I'll pass on both and just drive the country pleasing truck? J-Rock says, I think I would. No, see, that's much tougher. Because in the whole conversation we've had about this hypothetical question that Possum Neck Joe raised was, okay, well, if you're 18 and you're that kind of recruit that Lane Kiffin and LSU is recruiting you, then you're obviously going to have plenty of other options also. Now you've constricted it to you don't have other options. It's either Kiffin or Coach Free. And I know Coach Free's not coaching right now. Then it's different. Then it's like, well, even though you don't like one or the other, you got to pick one. I believe I'd pick Freeze. I believe I would. What about you, J-Rock? I mean, how are you gonna if you're saying in this hypothetical you're an 18-year-old recruit and you only have those 2 options and you're gonna pick one. You just are. I mean, I guess you could go, well, I'm refusing the scholarship and I'm going to go somewhere else and walk on, you know, and earn it. Or I'm going to go somewhere and just walk on and play baseball. You know, I mean, I guess you could say that. Charlie Boy texts the show. Country pleasing text line says, Lane is much like the players he's recruiting. It's about the money and winning. And Charlie Boy says, I would go and play for him. And I should specify, too, this is not Charlie Boy. This is Charlie. We took the R out. Charlie Boy. Sean in Canton, you texted and said, if we're going to have to talk about him for what it's worth, lame. He says, I think I would. Chicken apologized yesterday for his comments. Somebody, I think it was Annabeth, said, did you see something about the apology? And I said, no, I didn't, because I ignore all of it for the most part. So if there was an apology, I didn't catch it. I think she was saying, though, that she thought she saw it. Problem is, you never know what's real. It could be an AI apology for all we know. Unnamed texter said, if it were Freeze or Kiffin, I'd just have to start studying a lot harder. That's funny. That might be the answer either way, right? More of your texts, funny ones and all, coming up. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Deli's, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960s, pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, but we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country-pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number.
1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Will on YouTube, he says for him it'd be Kiffin over Freeze if he had to make that choice. My man Will going with the Lane Train. Appreciate that response, Will. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi is C Spire. Customer inspired at C Spire. Check them out, cspire.com. Deals are always going up at different times, throughout the year. And just about every month you go to cspire.com, there'll be a new, promotion or deal that certain things that going on at that particular time that you can take advantage of, as opposed to just, straight up retail, if you will. So always go there and check it out. Text me on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. That's a 601 number. 885-3776. And you can call me on the Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. The number to call is 897-1059. 897-1059. I want to circle back around to this hosting conversation for state baseball and see what some of y'all think. Is state, even if they get swept, are they still going to host? Must they win one game to host? Are you in the camp that says they have to win the series somehow to host? I mean, where are you on that? We'll look at the numbers and all. That's coming up. But first, headlines. Here we go.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group. Powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. So if you're buying a house or refinancing one, anything like that, go there first. Trust me, you can get questions answered and get the process started. mortgagemanms.com. Connor Griffin and the Pirates won last night, 3-1 at home, beat Colorado. Pirates are 23-19, and Connor scored a run, but he didn't have a hit in the game, but he did score a run in the ballgame. A 3-1 win for Pittsburgh on the heels of almost a no-hitter. He took one deep into the ballgame. Paul Skeens, 8 innings, 10 strikeouts, no walks, no runs on just 2 hits. He was dominant. Threw 98 pitches, 68 of them were strikes, struck out 10, didn't walk a single one. Only 2 guys with hits in the ball game. And good news for Jake Mangum, it sounded like. Yesterday, the manager of the Pirates said it looks like Jake's on pace to get back a little quicker than they thought from this sore hamstring deal. I said managers, general manager, Ben Cherington. Cherington was on a Pirates Insider show, and his quote was, we're optimistic that Jake is going to be back on the shorter end of things. He's an important part of the team. He finds himself almost into every game somehow, and when he's not active on the team, it shows. And he said it looks like he's going to get back a little quicker than the initial full-out 10-day. They put him on the 10-day last week, so hopefully any day now Jake's back in the clubhouse and playing for the Pirates and get back going again. On to the NFL. The NFL put out there what these international matchups are going to be this year. They're going to play 9 games outside of the U.S. Those include Melbourne, Australia, Rio de Janeiro, London 3 different times, 3 different games, Paris, Madrid, Munich, and Mexico City. Saints are playing in Week 7 against the Steelers in Paris. Cowboys play in Brazil in week 3 against the Ravens. There's 3 games in London. 2 of those have the Jaguars in it. And that's, I don't care. 49ers are in 2 of them. Week 1, it's 49ers Rams in Australia. Week 11, it's 49ers Vikings in Mexico City. And so those are those international games. And those are your headlines. Brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Okay, here's what I was talking about. Is Mississippi State going to host a regional at Duty Noble Field in year 1 of head coach Brian Connor being with your program? Is that going to happen? Well, let me frame it up for you this way. Yesterday, D1 Baseball put out its most recent projections. So this is after State lost another home series, this time to Auburn, who, by the way, they have Auburn as the number 4 national seed hosting. They've got Georgia 3, Georgia Tech 2, and UCLA 1. Yesterday's projections, they have Mississippi State as the 12th overall seed hosting a regional. With Oklahoma State, NC State, Southeastern Louisiana coming in there. Who knows how that all works out, but it just gives you an idea that D1, even as we sit right here going into this A&M series, they lost another series at home, 2 out of 3 to Auburn, still have them as the number 12 overall seed. It's not like they're sitting there right now going into this weekend as like the 16 seed right on the edge. They're not there. They're at 12. In the D1 baseball projections, State is the 12th seed overall, West Virginia 13, Oregon State 14, Kansas 15, Oregon, the Ducks, at 16, the last host spot. That's what they say. They also projected that Kentucky is one of the last 4 teams in, for what that's worth. Now, what does that mean? Okay, it means that this is according to D1, take it for what it's worth, but this is what they're saying. They probably have a pretty good read on it, ballpark it. And you're at 12. You're not at 14, 15, or 16. Well, if that is reality, State's got to win 1 ball game this weekend, and they are slick hosting a regional. Okay, if that's reality. Sure, there are other things at play, like this. What about Ole Miss? Right now, they project Ole Miss, they would be the number 18 overall team in the tournament. So they'd be a 2 seed in Corvallis, Oregon, with Oregon State hosting out there. Well, let me give you a scenario. You ready for this? Going into this weekend, State and Ole Miss both on the road. State, according to Warren Nolan's, currently sitting there at number 11 in the RPI. Ole Miss is 13 in the RPI. They're right there together. Well, what if State goes and loses or get this series or gets swept, and Ole Miss goes to Alabama and does a lot of damage over there, 2 or wins or something crazy like sweeping them? Well, not only would, if that happens, not only would Ole Miss get, within a game, potentially, a half game of State's record overall, but they would all, if that happened, then Ole Miss would also overtake State in the SEC standings in terms of SEC record. State right now has got 15 SEC wins. Ole Miss has 14. And there's a 1-game difference in the losses. You see what I mean? And so I think you have to consider, because then the fact that it's Ole Miss and State we're looking at here, they're within 2 spots of each other in the RPI, same conference, similar record, both on the road this weekend. How might it go? You're seeing projections of Ole Miss as a very high 2 seed. Well, you have to consider also Southern Miss is definitely going to host. So if the state of Mississippi can't have 3 host sites, then the reality is it's probably going to be Southern Miss and then either State or Ole Miss. Do you see what I mean? In terms of what they would give as a host site. Now, I'm not trying to drum it up into some dramatic scenario this weekend that's not reality. I just think reality is if it goes really south for State and they don't play well and they somehow get swept or something, and if Ole Miss were to go and play really well at the number 6 RPI team in Alabama and win a bunch of games over there, the truth is Ole Miss could jump them and steal that host spot. They could. State's controlling the destiny. State's ahead in the RPI, ahead in the record. Beat them head-to-head 4 times this year, 4-0. If State wins 1 game in College Station, they're hosting. That's what I'm standing by. We'll see. Stick around. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender. Hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance.
.com.
Back with you. Paul, yes, I have. Paul on Facebook, you said, have you tried Country Meat Packers boudin sausage? It's incredible. I have. You know, I've had the regular boudin, like the big links of it, take it home, freeze it, cook it later on the stove, whatever. It's phenomenal. I also have had the boudin balls that they make where they're breaded on the outside, and you could either fry them or you could cook them in the air fryer, which I've done in the air fryer. And they will, they'll make your day now. They'll make your tongue slap your hat off. You said, do you have any swag, T-shirts and caps and stuff? I don't for this show. I don't have any of that. Now, every now and then I'll get some T-shirts or something. Bill will give me some, from the radio station every now and then, but it's been a while. But I will say, Paul, you're a country pleasing fan. You go to Country Meat Packers, they got all the hats and caps and shirts and everything you could possibly want to get your hands on. And then you asked about a favorite burger place. I'll tell you this, Paul, other than, I like good food, but I'm not really a foodie. I don't have a list of places you ought to go for this and that. I'm not that kind of guy. If it weren't for friends and family that from time to time, drag me places to eat good food, a lot of times I'm a gas station, pop into a Junction Deli while I'm on the road, grab some chicken from the deli or a sausage dog and get back in the car and keep driving. That's kind of my deal. I eat a lot of beef jerky, good or bad or whatever. I see. This is what I'm talking about, like the difference. The difference. Here is Bubba on the Country Pleasing text line that says MSU will host even if they get swept this weekend. Okay. Not long after that, Bulldog Blitz texts in, and you say State has to win 1 at College Station, maybe need 2 to host. So when I was doing a minute ago, it's just strictly looking at kind of a peek at the projections out there, kind of gives you an idea of what they're saying. Look at that, pair it up with RPI, see where that is. State and Florida are really interesting contrast and comparison to each other, State and Florida. Right now in the RPI, State's number 11, Florida's number 12. They're right there together. State at 11, Florida at 12. They both have the same SEC record at 15 and 12. State is 4 games better overall in their record. State's 38 and 14, Florida's 34 and 18. But look at this. State is undefeated this year against the lower level teams, Q3 and Q4. They're 24-0, undefeated against the lower level teams. Florida, however, has 4 losses this year in that realm, Q3, Q4, 3 losses in Q4. But then you flip it, they're right the opposite against the good teams. Against Q1 teams, the best teams on your schedule, State is 9 and 11. But against Q1, Florida is 15 and 11. Florida's been better against the good teams and much worse against the bad teams. State has been perfect against the bad teams and much worse against the good teams. I don't know how they figured all that out. I don't know. State Grad 98, thanks for your text. You said, I will always bleed maroon, and my favorite song will still be Go Cubs Go, but I think it's time for me to semi-retire from being a diehard sports fan, trying to keep up with rosters and such. You say maybe being a casual fan will suit me better. I hear you. You're not the only one that's kind of going through that. I think there's a huge swath of people in America that have been and would classify themselves over the last 10 to 20 years as quote unquote diehard college sports fans, who now they're just more casual fans because of roster turnover and other stuff, and for whatever that means. Blitz, you said, look at State's record versus great competition. Ole Miss is their best 4 wins. See, that's what, I was pointing that out actually yesterday, Blitz, or maybe it was the day before, but that is true. That is true. State's best wins this year are the 4 wins against Ole Miss because they're all away from home. So even mathematically and technically in the formula, those are your best because it's rewarding you for 3 road wins at a high RPI team in the series, and then 1 neutral site win against a high RPI team in the Governor's Cup deal, 4-0 there. But that's true because the other good teams that State has played this year, at Arkansas, lose 2 out of 3. Host Georgia, swept at home. Host Tennessee, swept at home. Go to Texas, lose 2 out of 3. Host Auburn, lose 2 out of 3. Isn't it fascinating? Because, and that's why I said, after this past weekend, Blitz, the series against Auburn, what you can say pretty decisively about this Mississippi State baseball team is they are in the hosting conversation. Number one, they are in the hosting conversation because of 4 wins versus Ole Miss and a perfect record against all the bad teams on their schedule. And frankly, only even 1 midweek loss the whole year, and that was a 1-run loss at Southern Miss, one of the top 10 teams in the country in the midweek. Other than that, that's why they're in the hosting conversation. And number 2, you can say this decisively about State. If this is a team that can take you on a postseason run, it'll strictly be because they begin to play their best baseball at the end of May. Because up until this point, all the data you have says when you run up against the top level pitching, that they're just not as good. Everything you have tells you once this team exits the realm of teams that are less talented than them and gets into the realm of teams that are as talented as them, they don't win. That's what they've done here in the course of the regular season. You swept Vanderbilt at home. You swept South Carolina on the road. You swept LSU at home. You're 9-0 versus those 3 teams. Well, those are the three of the worst teams. If you didn't have Missouri, they are the 3 worst teams in the SEC, right? So you should be winning all those. That's why I say again, every data point you have says you can, for this State team to this point, you can draw a really clear line. On one side of that line, teams they are more talented than, State beats the tar out of all of them. On the other side of this line, teams that are as talented as State really struggles and has. So if this is going to be a team that's going to, have a run that we get to all enjoy in the postseason, it's strictly going to have to be because a switch gets flipped. Maybe that's McPherson getting back to 100%. You never know. But a switch gets flipped, and all of a sudden they really do play their best beginning in late May and then on into the summer. Maybe that'll happen. Terry on Twitter, you said if you can't beat the good teams, what does that say for regional play? Your thoughts? Well, I mean, that's kind of what I am saying. is, to this point, it has been all about, are you more talented than your opponent? Because if the answer for State has been yes, they beat them. But if the answer is no, either they are more talented than us or they are equally talented as us, State has not won a ton of those games. That's just the fact. And the only outlier, the only exception to that rule for this team is when they're playing Ole Miss. 4-0 against them, went and swept them in Oxford and beat them in the midweek too. Because of that, and because of being really good in the non-conference this year, State's in a position to host. All right. Wraps it up for today. I'm Matt for Beaver. All of us here on the show. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. See you then. See ya.